Parshat Beha'alotcha. Among the very many aspects of this particular parasha also comes the man that they had in the desert, and that they got sick of the man and ultimately could not stand it. It was literally, as the text says, coming out of their ears. And they wanted quails, they wanted meat, they wanted many, many things. They wanted watermelon, they wanted leeks. The fact is they didn't really know what they wanted. But the Satmar Rebbe, interestingly enough, I generally do not quote him, but the Satmar Rebbe asks a very interesting question. He doesn't understand. Why didn't the Jews like the man? The Midrash tells us, however they wanted it to taste, that's how it would taste. All they had to do was think of what they really wanted to eat. They wanted a steak. So when they made the blessing over the man, which I imagine was Sha'akol Niyah B'dvaro, they thought steak. And it tasted steak. And that would be steak without fat, steak without cholesterol. It would be perfect steak. They wanted quails. They wanted watermelon. When they made the blessing, think quails, think watermelon. What was the problem? So the Satmar Rebbe says, and I mention it because I think it's very clever and very human. He said, it expresses a truth about the character of the Jews in the desert. It wasn't enough that the food that they ate looked to be whatever they wanted. They wanted it to be clear that they were eating delicacies. They wanted it to be clear to the other nations who came upon them. They wanted it to be clear to the members of their families that what they received at God's hand was much better than what anyone else had to eat anywhere else. They wanted the Gentiles round about to see that too. You know what it's like? It's like a person who buys a very special car which has the engine of a Cadillac, but it's a Ford on the outside. That individual would have to pay a great deal of money for the Ford, for the Cadillac engine. But he would never be happy with it, because his friends think that all he's driving is a Ford. They can't see the Cadillac engine. And therefore, to them it means next to nothing. And to him, if they are not bowled over with the car he's driving, it means next to nothing to the owner as well. The Jews were not satisfied with man that tasted like steak. It was important that it looked like steak, so that the Gentiles would see and they would be impressed with the Jews. And that was not the case, and so they complained. Shabbat Shalom.